We live in a society and a culture right now where it is common practice for people, especially over the age of 40, to be on multiple prescription medications. People are always looking for ways to alleviate their symptoms instead of getting to the root causes of their issues, of what is ailing them. In 2020, my eyes were open to the corruption of our big pharma sick care system. We call it healthcare, but it really truly is sick care. It is a way to keep people needing their medications. And when I blew the whistle against HHS, I recognized the need for people to heal themselves from the inside out, and recognizing that our body is a creation and we have ways to heal it without taking medications. Guys, as an ER nurse, I work in triage quite frequently, where I am triaging every single person that walks through those doors in a period of 12 hours. And I'll tell you that the vast majority of people over the age of 40 are on multiple prescription medications. I met Phil, the owner of Relax Saunas, when I was touring the country for these last 3 years. It took me a couple of years to even get in one of his saunas and try it. But he had told me and others, just try it. Try it for 6 minutes. You can do it with your clothes on. You don't have to, strip down. This is something that you can absolutely have benefits in such a short amount of time. And I did, and I was hooked. I immediately purchased one because I had heard of other saunas costing exorbitant amounts of money. And I thought, how is this sauna so compact? It sits in my 500 square foot bedroom right now. Or no, I was probably 300 square feet where we're at.
Yeah.
But it sits in here and I am able to glean the benefits of it. And so I wanted to make sure that you guys recognize that there are alternatives and the healing benefits of the sauna, and that it can be affordable for just about everyone. When you take into consideration the health impacts that this, sweating and detoxification provides, it is a no-brainer to want to have one of these in your home. And so I thought it was important to come on here today and talk to the owner so he can tell us about we see the specifications. I see it right behind you, Phil, in
Yes.
your room. So people know that, this is something that you can have in your bedroom and, pretty indiscreetly.
Yes, absolutely. When we met, I remember meeting you after I put two different nurses who were injured by the vaccines,
That's right.
and they both cried. The one lady had not had; she was in a wheelchair. I think her name was Danny, and
Yeah, Danielle.
um, she could not feel anything in her fingers, and for the first time, she felt feelings in her fingers. And the other lady, Michelle, she could not feel the circulation in her legs from her ankles to her hips, and she was able to feel the circulation. And they were both blown away. They both cried. And since then, in June of this year, I was at another conference, and the lady had a flu vaccine, and for 13 years she'd been having shooting pain in her feet,
Mm.
and gone in 10 minutes, gone. And 2 months later, she doesn't need a wheelchair anymore. And these are
Yeah.
the kind of miracles I've seen. I've put 150,000 people for 5 to 10 minutes in the Relax Sauna at conference over the last 21 years. And I've seen about 30,000 minor or major miracles happen in their life in terms of pain reduction, in terms of feeling, and even some kinds of spiritual experiences they've had where they've touched something within themselves of a spiritual nature.
It's funny you talk about that because I had my dad come out and visit me. And my dad is almost 80 years old. He has chronic conditions, COPD, bordering on emphysema now, and diabetes, high blood pressure, right? And he, I encouraged him, to get in the sauna and try it. And I'll tell you, I mean, short of him crying when
Yes.
he got in it and telling me how much it took him back to the days of when he was in the army in
Yeah.
Belgium and he would do the sauna every day and how that was the best he's ever felt in his life. And he could tolerate it longer than I could, Phil. So it was,
Great.
I mean, I just, put his oxygen on and strapped it out, and he'd sit in there and I'd play music for him, and he loved it. And so, yes, yes, spiritual experience for sure. What is it about the sauna that, why do I feel like it works better than it does if I'm in a, typical cedar sauna?
Well, because what it is, it's the far infrared energy saunas, as talked about by Dr. Sherry Rogers, or the superior saunas. They're not there. We don't work with heat. We work with energy medicine, and Tesla, Emerson, or whoever, Edison, they all said the future of medicine is in vibration, in frequency. It's in light, invisible light, invisible sound. It's in vibration and frequency. Now, we are far infrared light beings. Water is a far infrared molecule. It has a certain frequency, and the wavelength of water is 8 microns. The wavelength of all humans, animals, mammals, and birds is about 9.4 microns, as pointed out by Dr. Sherry Rogers in her book, Detoxify or Die, on page 208. To be specific, she says we are far infrared light beings. So now I heard a pep talk at a recent conference in Las Vegas, and they talked about how resistance is something we want to avoid doing. Now, when we give you not near infrared, because we don't absorb, or far infrared penetrates. Near infrared only penetrates 1 to 2 millimeters. So there's a big misconception of full spectrum saunas, near infrared saunas. They do not resonate with the water molecules. They do not cause your body temperature to increase. Dr. Sherry Rogers pointed out in her classic book, 2001, the superior saunas are called the far infrared saunas. There's a guy by the name of Matt Justice, and he says the more far infrared you have in your sauna, the more therapeutic it will be. We took the Relax Sauna, we sent it to Polytechnic University in LA, and they measured for 60 minutes the frequency by a machine called a bolometer, which measures the frequency of saunas. Because we're saying, how can we work so much better than all the other saunas? Well, we do have semiconductor technology, which is, we're the only sauna that uses computer technology. And that's why Planck's law doesn't obey, because Planck's law says we can't do what we did, but we give you 100% far infrared ray between 7 and 14 microns that Polytechnic University in LA verified, and so did Harvard MIT Science and Technology Lab recently when we sent them our sauna, a $1,300 portable sauna, sort of pretending to be us. It's full spectrum and supposedly low EMF. And we sent them an Amazon sauna worth about $250. We came back 7 to 14 microns. Again, water's 8 microns. The humans are 9.4 microns. We give you the exact frequency. So the penetration intensity, according to Harvard MIT, of the Relax Sauna was 3.5 times that of the $1,300 sauna, because we have the correct frequency, and 4.5 times of the Amazon sauna. So the $1,300 sauna is only a little bit better than the $250 Amazon sauna. The $1,300 sauna, they measured 1.2 to 6 microns, only 8% of that far infrared, 37% mid, 55% near. The Amazon sauna was a 0.95 microns to 1.32 microns, 100% near. And see, it's like, it's like so people are advertising and extolling the benefits of far infrared saunas as done by the research, and they have very little far infrared in their saunas. It's like, I'm talking about the wonderfulness of B12 vitamins. And then I have a B supplement I'm selling. This is, an example analogy. And then all of a sudden you get the B12 complete supplement at home, and there's hardly any B12 in it. So this is there's a big difference. There's a detox specialist in Las Vegas who says all saunas are not alike. They're all different. They all have different doses. And she says, I had a $1,300 portable sauna and I had a higher dose blanket. And I thought, they were the bomb. And then I got the Relax Sauna. The Relax Sauna leaves me revitalized. Her biological age is now, she's 52, is now 29. When she was using that $1,300 sauna at age 48, her biological age was 45. And now at age 52, using the Relax Sauna, she uses it every morning as part of her daily routine, and it leaves her revitalized. And there's a lot of other, yes.
Well, I was going to say, that's what shocked me so much, is that I didn't need to be in there for a long amount of time to feel those benefits, right? I was able to, like, if I wanted to get a full on sweat, I'm doing that basically between, it took me a little, and I'm not a sweater. I'll tell you that, right? Like it's hard for me to sweat.
Yeah.
But it'll be like between 18 and 22 minutes, I'll sweat. My dad, he got in there and he was sweating at like 11 minutes, 12
Yeah.
minutes. My son, he doesn't like to be hot, so he won't go in there. But, I've had my other friends go in there and they just love it. They'll go in and sit in there in their clothes while we talk. you
Yes,
know?
it's I call it loving light. See, the
Yeah.
frequency between 7 and 14 micron is the exact frequency of, and if you check any other sauna on the marketplace, they don't disclose to you the ingredients, which means the frequency of their sauna. And but supplements we have to. And so, just like curcumin is the active ingredient of turmeric, the active ingredient is far infrared between 7 and 14 microns. And Dr. Akpinar pointed out in his book, as he quoted from the book by Toshika Yamasaki, the book is called The Science of Far Infrared Therapy. It was written in Japan. And she said that upon application of the 7 to 14 frequency, the water molecules will vibrate. Now, what this does, it weakens the ionic bonds of the hydrogen and the oxygen. And now water molecules usually cluster. And so, far infrared energy actually structures the water. And therefore, the trapped poisonous gases held by these clustered molecules, according to Dr. Yamasaki, these poisonous gases and mercury vapors and heavy metals, they're released from the body because the water molecules get to vibrate, weakening the bonds. This does not happen with near infrared that penetrates 1 to 2 millimeters. The far infrared penetrates 40 to 50 millimeters. This is scientifically pointed out. And then what we want to also point out, that there's a man called Hippocrates that I'm sure you've heard of. He's known as the father of modern medicine. And besides saying above all, do no harm, which has been terribly violated recently and has always been violated. But at the same time, he also said something very, very profound. He said, if you can find me a way to create fever and sweat, I will cure any disease. That's powerful. And so when you take in the future of medicine is in vibratory medicine, vibration, and energy medicine, the Relax Sauna does not have a heater in it. It has 2 lighters, but we don't want to call it a lighter because people will say, well, I can't fit that in my pocket. But they're emitters of far infrared energy using semiconductor chips. Now, we all know that the semiconductor chips, Taiwan does make 94% of the world's semiconductor chips. And we had a problem during COVID with the new cars because the new cars are dependent upon semiconductor chips. So it's a technology that actually filters. I heard Bruce Lipton talk, and he said the membrane of the cell is actually the brain of the cell, and the membrane is a semiconductor. So the semiconductor is ceramic. That means like plastic does not conduct, copper or metal does. So the semiconductor means it has the wisdom to choose, like the membrane of a cell, what comes in and what goes out. So we have a program, and it only gives you 7 to 14 micron. And the inspiration for this was the hot springs in southern Japan, where people would go for healing, and a Japanese company asked the Relax Sauna company in Taiwan, which has been in business for over 40 years. They're an electrical company. And they said, okay, we'll do it. And it took from 1987 to 1997 to figure out how to do precisely what they did. And that's why we believe that the Relax Sauna, the owners of the Dr. Chang and his team of scientists actually deserved the Nobel Prize, because getting divine love in a box is not a very easy thing to do.
No, no, it's not. And I think so many of us too are starting to realize that we do need to detox. This was something that I never even thought about prior to COVID, honestly. You know,
Yeah,
but since then I've realized the benefits of detoxification, and that does include, the fasting. People talk about fasting, and that's kind of like this big craze for people to do the one meal a day. I mean, that's like kind of the goal,
right.
like what
Yeah,
people try to build up to. But I look at it biblically, right? My lens in this world is through a biblical worldview, and
right.
I look at what the Bible tells us about fasting and that's detoxifying. There's studies out there to say that people that do regularly fast,
Right.
that they have less incidences of cancer, right? And so
Yeah.
we look at so when we're detoxifying, there's different ways, guys, that we can detoxify, right? And that is sweating, bleeding, pooping, peeing, right? Like this is
Right.
what our body, naturally detoxifies. It gets rid of. And if you can, and you know, institute a sweat in your room, during the winter time, during the summertime, like no matter where you live, like there's a lot of benefits to that. What do you think about detoxification for sweating, Phil?
Well, I started in 1971 fasting. I had a Kundalini awakening after having an out of body experience. My whole body was transformed, and I couldn't eat anything without feeling totally unable to function. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to basically was on for 80% of my diet for about 9 months was figs, dates, and cashews. And I did a lot of fasting. Almost every 2 or 3 days I would fast. The most I've fasted is 13 to 14 days on the Master Cleanse diet.
Okay.
But I regularly fast. I like it keeps me alert.
Mm-hmm.
I have found that in the morning, I do water, I do the sauna, and then maybe around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I would do a celery juice. I did this for about 3, 4, 5 years, and I would intermittent fast and didn't even know that they had a name for it.
Yeah.
But incidentally, I wanted to point out that Dr. Toshika Yamasaki, she pointed out that far infrared energies actually are an antidote for EMF. And
Mm.
the Harvard study said that we had 1/12 the EMF of the low dose EMF sauna and
Yeah.
180th of the EMF of the other sauna. So for those who are concerned about, EMF. But going back to fasting, I started, I opened up a health food store in 1980. So all the things you talked about at the beginning of this session, yeah, I'm aware of the holistic health, traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine from India, the American Indians, and all cultures have had, the grandma's chicken soup, ginger ale, and lemonade. Oh my gosh. See, and I've been into this since the early 80s. I was selling green powders in 84, Chinese herbal
Wow.
combinations then, medicinal mushrooms in 1980, essential oils in 86, and the MMS oxygen chlorine dioxide products I started selling in 88. So because of the experiences I had, all this information came to me and I ate it up, and I'm a promoter. I've been educating those I come into about, and also getting into the present moment. Now the Relax Sauna gets you into the present moment by it applies a gentle pressure that gets you into the moment where there's no time. And my quasi definition of pain is the awareness of time. Have you ever hurried? Have you ever worried? Have you ever waited? All those are very, very painful experiences. And so when you get outside of time, and also when you increase body temperature, that's going to mobilize the lymphatic system. It's going to increase circulation, getting rid of lowering blood pressure, getting rid of pain and inflammation. It's going to flood the body with oxygen, oxygenating the body, killing the anaerobic bacteria and parasites. But activating the parasympathetic is what the Relax Sauna excels at, and that gets you. And then I had a guy in the sauna. He said, I've got $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 machines that can't do what this does. What I'm feeling with my mitochondria, I'm feeling it in my hands and my feet and my legs and my brain. And I'm never seen anything. And the Relax Sauna, the silver sauna, sells right now for $1,500. I think it's going up to $1,700 in January. And the black tent sauna is $2,100. We also have a light down sauna and lamps. But
Yeah,
these,
I have the silver one, the one
yeah,
you have. Hmm.
right. And these are some of the most incredible technology that has existed. And the fact that we've been selling it for 20 years, and we have hundreds of people with $8,000 wooden saunas buying the Relax Sauna as an upgrade. I tell people this is a $20,000 sauna because of our technology. There's no wooden sauna that can do what we can do, and we're selling for $1,500. It's like, oh my God! But
Right.
basically, what we do is we give you the correct frequency of energy that penetrates intensely into your body, resonates with the water molecules, increases body temperature, and performs magic. And we've got professional baseball teams. The Dodgers just ordered another one for the playoffs, and we've got a lot of other teams and a lot of, but in the holistic age community, those in the forefront of promoting the dangers of the vaccines. 9 or 10 of the speakers at a recent conference all have purchased the Relax Sauna from me.
Oh,
And
yes, definitely. If you don't do it the first time you see you, I think it took me like 3 or 4 times. It's an investment, right?
yeah,
$1,500 is not anything to just, oh, here, I have 1,500. Most people don't have $1,500 lying around. But when you get in this and you feel the benefits of it, and you realize, like, I start my day out with it. I wake up in the morning, right? I have my green 85. Here, let me plug this because
right, beautiful. Yes,
yes,
right.
I just got done doing a show on this. I have my green 85. I start hydrating immediately upon awakening. I'm not reaching for my coffee anymore, right? If I want one, I, wait a couple hours and then I have a cup. But I get in, I have my green 85. I go in my sauna, I get out. Now I do my stretching. Now I do my, Pilates in my room. And then I get up and now I'm ready for the day and I go out and I do my walk and I come back and I shower. Now I'm ready. It's such a good way you know, to start your day and to end it. Sometimes I don't do it at night because I don't want to hop in the shower again before I go to bed, after working 12-hour shifts. But certainly I start my day off with it. And Phil, I can't thank you enough for, you touched a little bit about the vaccine injured community. I saw the ladies in the hallway they were crying, and I asked them why they were crying, and they said I hadn't felt my, my hands and my fingers, and oh my gosh, like what a difference. And I said, we're gonna get you one of those. And you worked with me to be able to supply that to those two women. And I can't thank you enough for your charity as well, because that's amazing. And I am so happy to let everybody know about Relax Sauna. And any closing thoughts or anything?
Well, the website is relaxsaunas.com, and I think you have you can probably put in the a link to go to your website. I think
Yeah.
you have, I think it's
Yeah,
relax.
it's relaxsaunas.com/Jody, but I'll put it in the banner here too.
Great. Okay. And so, again, we're so excited about getting this out into the world. I've been using it for 21 years, almost every morning. And I would say to many, many people, it puts a cup of coffee to shame in the morning for alertness and awakeness. And using it for even 10 minutes before you go to bed, when you just start to do a sweat, I is a good idea. I used to have a portable sauna, an Amazon-like sauna, and it would take me 18 minutes to sweat and 55 minutes for a good sweat in the relaxed sauna. 8 minutes to start sweating, 15 minutes I'm dripping, 22 minutes I'm drenched. And oh my gosh, it leaves me so invigorated and clear. And we tell people it brings joy, mental clarity, and gets rid of pain. I tell people, at conferences, it says it feels like your grandma's giving you a loving hug, or you're basking in divine love, or in 5 to 7 minutes, I guarantee, without sweating, you'll get rid of 50% to 100% of your pain with your clothes on. And people, oh, really? And they go in, and every single time. And it's
Yeah.
such a blessing to be able to share to those who are looking,
Right.
to find relief. And in the field of dreams, the main theme, and people said if you build it, they will come. But in actuality, in the first part of the movie, it said ease his pain. And 5 different people in the movie had their pain eased, and majorly. And this is what the Relax Sauna does. It eases your pain by helping you, make you aware of the reality of who you really are and what you are, but also to get rid of physical, emotional, and mental pain. And that's, the world doesn't need to delve and exist in pain. They can, it's like man is a god clothed in rags, and all he or she has to do is step out of his self-constructed prison, and he or she can be free. And that's the reality of it. And we're doing the best we can. We really appreciate your support in letting those know they can experience greater joy and freedom in their life. And so thank you very much. And again, it's relaxsaunas.com/Jody, or you whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Phil. Thank you all. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments, and we'll be looking at it regularly. But you can certainly go to relaxsaunas.com/Jody, and there's a lot of research and stuff on there too that probably get most of your questions answered. Phil, is there a
You need
trial period with this?
there's a 30-day money back guarantee, and you want to let people know how to spell Jody.
Oh yeah, Jodi. Yes.
Yes, that's
Yes.
really, really important.
Yeah. Yes, it is important.
The-
And
the-
that's why I'll put it on the banner. I'll just have it running through here.
we give a 30-day money back guarantee. And what's really nice is the Relax Sauna. It comes in a 28-inch by 21-inch by 12-inch box, but the same size of a suitcase. And it actually fits in a suitcase,
Yeah.
and a travel bag. It's the only portable sauna out there. It starts in 8, and you can feel it in 10 to 20 to 30 seconds.
Mhm.
And it's such a joy to experience. And for those who want greater performance and greater recovery after a workout, it's the bomb.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't support many things, but this relaxed sauna, I absolutely do. So thank you, Phil.
It's thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate it.